This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2021 GMC Yukon Denali XL. Up front is a 6.2 liter V8, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, I'm super excited to be driving this here Yukon Denali XL for a couple of reasons. First of all, I reviewed a 2007 GMC Yukon Denali XL on the channel about a month ago, and so I'm excited to show you guys the new version of that exact car. We'll see how things have changed in 14 years for GMC. The second reason is that this has some awesome, really cool features that I'm excited to show you guys, so it's going to be a really long interior segment today. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack I have available for just $10 with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before I post it here on the channel. But let's get back to that 6.2 liter V8 making 420 horsepower. It's used in a bunch of different GMC products and GM products in general. I recently drove an Escalade, a 2021 Escalade that I'll be heavily comparing this vehicle to, and that also had the 6.2 liter in it. It's a really solid engine. It does the job. It has that oomph that you really want out of a big SUV like this, and you're not going to feel underpowered at all. However, this day and age, it's not fantastic, getting you 15 miles to the gallon in the city, 21 miles to the gallon on the highway, of course, all without towing. Like I said, paired to it is a 10-speed automatic transmission. GM has been using this in their vehicles for quite some time, and I personally have never had an issue with the drivability or feeling of these 10 speeds. You don't really notice them shifting all that much, and since it's not a sporty vehicle, you really don't notice it. Last but not least about the drivetrain, of course, the GMC Yukon Denali XL is four-wheel drive. We'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. However, you can still find Yukons in two-wheel drive if that's something you'd really like. With all of that out of the way, let's talk about the interior, because boy, do we have a lot to go through. And if you notice down below, there's actually chapter markers, so we'll be talking about like infotainment, interior, all the buttons and things like that. So if you're looking for something specific, you could do that on the little scroll bar down at the bottom, or check the description. But in front of me, I have two physical gauges and a screen. On the left is my tachometer, on the right is my speedometer, and then in the screen, I get oil pressure, coolant temperature, fuel and battery voltage up top, and then I have a highly customizable screen down below. I love all of the colors that you get in this. GM is very good at giving you good colors, good information, good graphics. Really the centerpiece of the car, at least for the driver's perspective, is this screen, and I'm a big fan. The Silverado has the same one, the Tahoe has the same one, and so I really like it across all their products. Up above me, I do have a heads-up display giving my current speed as well as the speed of the road, and I have a little cruise control display, which I pulled up behind a car, and it shows you when there's a car in front of you, but I can't identify what they use for the graphic. I assume it's a mishmash of a couple of cars. At first, it looked like an Audi to me, then maybe an Infiniti Q50, maybe a Malibu, but I feel like they would have branded it as a Malibu, sticking with GM. So if you have your guesses, please leave it in the comment section down below of what car you think that they used. But it's a nice heads-up display. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my cruise control options with pre-collision and my heated steering wheel button, very nice. And off to the right, I have my selector for that center gauge screen we were just talking about. You can go up and down, as well as I have phone options. The steering wheel is nice. It says Denali in the middle, not GMC. Denali. So it reminds you got the top trim, and it's leather wrapped, and it's heated. So what more can you want? Moving off to the left, I have a bunch of buttons. I have my power parking brake. I have all my safety options for like lane keep assist, traction control, hill descent control, parking sensors, automatic start stop on and off, and my outlet I could turn on and off. We'll talk about that when we talk about the back. I have my heads up display options over here, very nice. And then I have my 4-wheel drive options down below for auto, 4 high, 2 high, and 4 low. Then I have all my lighting options, gauge dimmer switches, headlights, fog lights, all found right here. This is really the physical command center of the GMC Yukon Denali XL. Moving on to the door, first of all, this is the first place you notice this nice wood grain accent on the door, and it goes throughout the dash, we'll talk about later on, but I really like that. I have my lock and unlock, power mirror adjustments, power windows, and my 2 different memory seat options, as well as my get out mode, which will move the seat as far back as possible to make it easier to get in and out of the vehicle. Moving into the center, I do have 2 climate control vents positioned up high. Then I have off to the left, this is the shifter. So I can plus minus if I'd like to down below, but it is just push buttons. Everything is push buttons. And I am starting to come around to this. This was a big trend in like the 50s and is really making a comeback with a lot of American vehicles. They've switched to these push button shifters, as well as Honda has also done that as well. Now let's pull over and talk about the big infotainment center. All right, so let's talk GMC infotainment. And you see this line right here, that's just a reflection. So obviously that's not a defect in the screen. But here we are, we can go home here. This is the very, very typical Chevy or GM really infotainment system. You found this on the Chevy Spark as seen here, a little bit closer together, but still. So here we are, we do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We have different users we can set so we could save favorites and things like that. Wi-Fi hotspot, navigation, phone, and audio. Go over here, we have trailering options, which is very, very nice. I'm not gonna start a trailer light test, but you can. I have different apps I can go to here. So the previous owner installed Amazon Alexa, Spotify, and the Weather Channel, which is pretty nice. I also can control the rear media from over here. We'll talk about that when we talk about the back seats, because this actually has a rear seat infotainment system, but we'll go back here. We do have climate, so I can adjust my climate controls from the screen, as well as I do have physical climate controls we'll talk about in a second. I get my camera button. So this has a 360 bird's eye camera, which is fantastic, as well as this is actually my front view camera, but I can cycle through a bunch of different things, looking straight down at the nose. I can look at my wheels. See, I can turn the wheels here. There they are. I can also look at my trailer hitch. It's sort of a zoomed in option there. Oh, I can also cycle through a bunch of these different views as well. Front down, front back, front back, front back, front back. I can take a look at this. This has some line. I mean, there's so many camera options here in the Yukon Denali XL that it's just really, really, truly fantastic. Coming over here to my GMC, I can schedule service, roadside assistance. I can learn about the vehicle if I'd like. I have a built-in owner's manual, and you get this nice GMC picture behind all of that. We can go home here, go over, and these are the installed apps by the previous owner. So this does not come factory on this car. However, you could just install them whenever you'd like. And I have Amazon Alexa that there seems to be an update for, and I have Spotify as an app as well. When I do put the vehicle into reverse, pull it up here, and we get all of our camera options yet again, and I can cycle through whatever I want to see when I am backing up, put it back into park. And the camera does stay on for a little bit after you put it into park, which is nice just to keep an eye on things. Down below all of that, I have some physical radio controls for volume, home, skip track, and back, as well as tune. And then I get my climate controls. Now, I can control the rear climate controls from this little station right here, which is great. Also, it is dual zone climate. I have heated seats, which I could heat my back and my butt, or just my back. And I have ventilated seats as well for the front 2 occupants. And I think overall it looks really nice. I think the readouts on the dials look very, very presentable, and I've always praised GM for this. Moving down to the center console, we do have a pretty big openable cubby. This houses the SD card reader for the navigation and things like that, 2 USB ports, and a 12-volt outlet, as well as a wireless charger. And I like that you could hide that away, again, covered by this nice wood accent. Down below that, we have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test Here in the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali XL, such a mouthful, and it doesn't pass initially. However, if you do remove the rubber inserts, the big friggin' bottle will pass. So I'll give this vehicle a pass just because I used to own a Pontiac and I left these little rubber things out all the time. I don't think I ever used them. Because I don't really drink coffee, I'm not really spilling, I always had closed water bottles. So I just left it out, and the big friggin' bottle fits when you do that. So I will give the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali XL a pass for the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do get this giant center console. Again, could totally fit a rotisserie chicken in here. Tons of storage options. However, I don't really get any interesting bells or whistles found in the center. The seats are nice and comfortable. They have the Denali stitched in the top of them. They're heated, they are ventilated, they're power, they are memory, which is pretty much all I can ask for from a vehicle like this. Of course, they don't get massage seats, but that's okay. I'm not the Queen of England. Speaking of seats, we do have back seats with some rear seat infotainment as well. So let's hop back there and talk about that. All right, so we're in the back of the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali XL, and a couple of things to note back here. We will talk about this rear seat infotainment in just a second, but let's talk about the actual seat space first. Very, very nice. I have my own climate controls down here with heated seats for both of these rear seats, which is fantastic, especially it's a little chilly this morning, so I'm pleasantly enjoying that. I have USBs as well as HDMIs in. We'll talk about that in a second. Down below those climate controls for the rear, this is where you find your wall outlet. That is what you could control next to the steering wheel. You can turn that on and off, I guess if you want to punish your kids, but very nice that you get a wall outlet. But the seating space is fantastic. These seats are manual, however you can adjust them. And scoot up all the way up here. I can go all the way back here, which is pretty nice. And in 2 hits of the button, you can actually fold it down and then you could fold it back up. So getting in the rear seats is a lot easier. Let me demonstrate that for you now. So there's a little handle over here. You pull it once and it goes down like that. Pull it again and there's a little strap and then it comes up. So we can now hop in the back. Way easier. Now, of course, with this seat, where it should be is the back super roomy. No, it's not the roomiest place in the world, but it's still going to be comfortable, especially for children. And honestly, if I had to spend some time back here, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I do have USB chargers on the wall, USB-C, kind of interesting, and I do get little cup holders here as well. Let's hop back up to the second row and talk about this back seat infotainment system. So now let's talk rear seat infotainment. I don't often get to do this. Now this is a $2,000 option, actually $1,995 option for the back of the Yukon. So obviously it's a little bit pricey, but you can do a bunch of cool things. It has those HDMI ports, and GMC actually advertises that you can use an Amazon Fire Stick, a Roku if you'd like to, anything that can plug into an HDMI, an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Wii, that will all work with this. As well as you could also listen to music based off the USB, so you could plug in your own phone and things like that. Kids in the back can have their own exact infotainment. You can also go here to navigate. You get this cool little navigation screen, and then I can go up here. Let's see here. What can we search for? Let's get some food. Let's go American. What's around here? Baskin Robbins. We have a burger lounge. Gemato's. Very good gyros from Gemato's. You know what? Let's navigate to Chili's. So now I can hit send, and it says request sent. And up at the front, it says that I can either accept or ignore this request. Now, what's kind of interesting is that once it disappears, the accept or ignore, I can send it again. I can keep sending it. I can send it all day long if I want to. So you can definitely annoy your parents or driver in a new fun way. You can also look at like traffic and things like that. If you want to know when you're going to get to your destination, you can keep that up just like you can on a lot of modern airplanes, which is a really, really cool feature. Going home here, you can hook up headphones. The GMC Yukon does come with headphones, which is pretty nice. Other than that, nothing too crazy, but you can watch, listen, and navigate through this rear seat screen, which is just fantastic, and you never really see these systems in a lot of cars. So it's fun to play around with that, and I can also go to settings and do brightness, voiceover, video autoplay, things like that. But remember, this is a $1,995 option for the Yukon Denali XL. All right, so we're on the back of the 2021 GMC Yukon XL Denali, And a couple of things to note back here. First of all, here on the key fob, I have two different options. So if I double hit it, it will actually just pop the glass. So this is super nice if you have kids or animals or anything back here you don't want rolling out when you open the tailgate. Super, super nice. But then if we come back to the key fob, we could double hit this one and then, oh wait, that was the wrong one. We could double hit this one and the entire tailgate will open. Very, very nice. Now this is where the XL really matters, because you get about, what is that, 3-4 feet of space before the third row of seats. That's the third row of seats. So you get tons of extra space behind the third row. So this is meant for bigger families. If you're going to be using that third row all the time and still need cargo space, here it is. You can also flip these seats down with the flip of a switch, and as you can see, hold on, I'll get through this one. See that seat up there? Double hit that. Boom. Oh, okay. It hit itself a little bit, but that's okay. So super cool that you have these power options here. You also get a wall outlet back here as well. You could flip this up, get some extra storage down here. Tons of storage options, and this is where the XL really comes into its own. Now we got to talk about the looks, and this is finished in satin steel metallic, which is a pretty cool name if I do say so myself, and I think it looks really good. This does have the upgraded Denali wheels, and it looks a little bit different than the other GMC Yukons. There are 4 different trim levels offered. You have the SLE, SLT, the Denali, and the AT4, which was new for 2021. And the AT4 was like an off-road oriented version of the Yukon. But with all of that being said, everything in here, let's get to my final thoughts here on the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali XL, or Yukon XL Denali. I don't know, whatever sounds better, I'll put as the title. I really, really, truly love this SUV. And here's the thing, like I said earlier this year, I filmed a 2021 Escalade. Now granted, it was the shorter wheelbase, but that was about $102,000. This, as you saw at the beginning, MSRP is around $80,000. Unfortunately, I don't have the original window sticker. However, I rebuilt this on GMC's website, and that's the number that I came to. So give or take a couple $100 here and there. But let's just stick with $80,000 to make things easy. That's a $22,000 difference between this and that Escalade. And I have to say that I almost prefer the GMC. The GMC feels more working class. Now, I know buying an $80,000 SUV is not possible for a lot of the working class. It's certainly not possible for me. But it feels more honest. It feels more genuine. Where the Escalade, I mean, that's Grey Poupon territory. You get driven around in an Escalade. The GMC still feels like I'm the one driving it. If I had a big family, I would definitely get the XL over the regular Yukon. I don't know how GMC has retained that blue-collar feel while charging $80,000, but they've somehow achieved that. So my hat's off to them. I think really, truly, if I had $105,000 to spend on a vehicle and I had a family, I would buy this for $80,000, and then I'd buy a brand new Mazda Miata for the weekends. That, to me, is a perfect 2-car solution. I am really, really impressed with this vehicle. And while I keep saying 80 grand is a lot, I kind of feel like this car is worth it, at least in terms of the options that you get. And of course, you could take a $2,000 reduction and not get the rear seat infotainment system. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their used GMC. Wow, as I said that, the sun comes out. Maybe that's a sign. Toyota Naperville is fantastic. Their information is up on the screen as well as linked in the description below. We've been working together for like 3 years now, almost 4, and they have been absolutely fantastic. If you're looking for a new car, please go check them out. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.